Hello! Did you know that if you're a licensed attorney in the state of Minnesota and you commit a crime while in the performance of your duties, the Office of Lawyers' Professional Responsibility, or the OLPR, will protect you by falsifying reports, destroying evidence, and ignoring the victim, and that these actions are supported and have the blessing of the Minnesota State Supreme Court. Hello, my name is David. I'm a former United States Army military policeman and investigator. I am the victim of such a cover-up orchestrated by the OLPR in order to conceal alleged crimes committed against me by Mr. Stephen T. Applegate, as well as to protect and conceal the gross incompetence of Hennepin County District Judge Deborah Hedlund, that these allegations may have led to resignation of Minnesota State Supreme Court Chief Justice Kathleen Blatz, as a result of her failure to address these allegations. In my experience as a former investigator in the military, I can honestly state that the OLPR report is crap. Also, there is no proof of bribery at this time, just allegations. To give a brief story, Mr. Applegate, who has a documented history of misconduct, was hired by myself to handle a minor civil matter which he showed favor to the opposition's owner, primarily due to the fact they had been offered compensation. In November 1996 default hearing, I caught Mr. Applegate mishandling my case, at which time I stopped the proceedings and warned the judge and informed her that my case was being mishandled. In a copy of the transcript shown below, it shows this stoppage, and this is vital, as the OLPR will not even acknowledge this stoppage. Why? Because Mr. Applegate deceived Judge Hedlund during this discussion by duping her to continue the default hearing by promising the judge and myself that he would correct his mistakes, which in fact he did not, and only lied to the judge in order to get out of the courtroom, as he had committed a crime in an attempt to mishandle my case in favor of the opposition. This incident was covered up by the OLPR. However, at the time, Judge Hedlund was too incompetent to even recognize the situation and did not even question Mr. Applegate. Judge Hedlund, while being a very likable person, has a reputation of being grossly incompetent. This is just another example. She's also demonstrated extreme bias and prejudice towards myself and is only concerned about protecting Mr. Applegate and herself. The OLPR assisted in this matter, again, by ignoring the stoppage as well as removing official documents that Mr. Applegate had falsified while under oath. One particular document, the Affidavit of Identification of Judgment Debtor, was docketed in January of 1997, as seen here. Yet when I received this case file, this document was not present. One fact that people must know is that this corporation named in the lawsuit was out of business for several months prior to the trial or default hearing, a documented fact. One of the owners of this corporation was to have been named as the defendant, which is why I stopped the default hearing. Yet in this document, Mr. Applegate, while under oath, indicated that this defunct business was still now in business, which was false. He had falsified an official document while under oath. In the OLPR report, this document was never mentioned by name, but only referred to by the date, January 1997. Now, how can someone from that OLPR office write in the report about this document that was not in the case file when I received it, unless they removed it? Why was this document not named? Also, why is there no mention that this document was falsified? It's as if the author of this report did not want the reader to become aware of this document's existence. Like my former attorney, the OLPR got caught falsifying a report and removing, concealing, and destroying evidence. This is a conspiracy against rights, a felony, in violation of federal law. Judge Hedlund violated her oath of office by refusing to report this stoppage as well as concealing evidence. Again, all this covered up and concealed by the OLPR and secretly supported by the Minnesota State Supreme Court. After contacting various law enforcement agencies, an official from the FBI indicated that what happened to me is common practice and that many lawyers' ethics offices falsify reports in order to protect attorneys, not civilians. These alleged criminal acts that I've been attempting to report since day one, Stephen T. Applegate confessed to as being true during a motion hearing in federal court presided by Judge Michael Davis. But before that, I was asked to contact Supreme Court Chief Justice Kathleen Blatz, who indicated that she never heard of the OLPR falsifying reports and just dropped there without so much as asking one question. Therefore, to get my point across, I produced a one-hour television program and aired it on public access television in Minneapolis. I sent Chief Justice a copy of this program and key documents proving my point. My program was aired 3 times within a month, within hours of the last showing. Minnesota Chief Justice Kathleen Blatz announced her resignation from the Minnesota Supreme Court. Coincidence? Maybe, but only she can say for certain, and Kathleen Blatz is not talking. Now to get back to Mr. Applegate's confession as seen here. Yes, he did confess to all these allegations that I've made in the past and those mentioned in this media clip as being true. Matter of fact, if you look at the transcript, Mr. Applegate volunteered this confession. But if you notice, the last word is missing. The last word missing is true. Since I was present, I can testify to that, and according to U.S. Marshals, allegedly the presiding judge had the transcript altered and the audio file removed. Now, for argument's sake, if he had stated that these allegations as being false, he would not have been too concerned about mentioning the statute of limitations. So why did Mr. Applegate confess? Well, it was after the statute of limitation had already expired, and I believe also to send a message to the OLPR and the Minnesota State Supreme Court that he is more than willing to go public and on record concerning this cover-up by providing details and naming personnel involved. Some of these personnel are now serving as judges within the state of Minnesota. Simply, Mr. Applegate threw the OLPR under the bus. That if he goes down, he plans on taking people down with him. So I might as well be that bus driver. Let's go for a ride. To conclude with personal observation of the conduct of judicial personnel that I've met over the past 15 years, the bias, prejudice, and contempt that I have encountered is overwhelming and shameful, as most of these officials were well aware of the fact that I was a victim of a crime and that their only concerns were protecting each other, in which they'd hope I would just go away. But as a veteran of the military service, I am fighting back. This is my story. Thank you, and take care.